Hello. Hello. I have no idea how high the gain is. I feel like it's a bit too low.
It's alright.
Wait, hold on. Let's do that. Wait. You ready? You steady? Hi, gamers. Hello. Hello. Come on, get a cheeky bit of enthusiasm.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? Yes.
I don't know if it's right to do that.
No. Hello, guys.
What's up, guys?
Today we're gonna be talking about
Welcome
mental.
to the mental health.
Welcome to therapy. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Hello. Today we are going to be talking about, well, we're going to be talking about mental health. We're going to get straight into it, purely because there is no reason to dally on it. And, you know, I want to just say, before we start, me and Ran, we are not licensed professionals. We are just two guys with a brain of advice, and we can talk about things that, and our input. We're gonna talk, and, you know, at the end of the day, remember, if we give advice, or we give any, like, you know, we put our thoughts in the void. If you don't agree with it, that's completely fine. We're just gonna be talking from our standpoint. Okay? Just a reminder. This is from our standpoint. Was that a good...
That's good.
Good. Okay, I'm glad. Okay, well, that's basically, just wanted to put that out there ready, okay? But hello gamers, hope you guys are having a great day. Put the mic closer. I physically don't think...
We can't. I'll just speak louder.
There you go, Ran will just speak louder, guys, okay?
I'll speak louder.
So, it's okay. I will turn it down a little bit more. Should I do the gain?
Well, no.
No.
The gain, no, not the gain.
Woo another
Okay.
stream.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
It'll be alright.
We're fine,
Yeah.
gamers, we're fine. But yeah, hello guys, welcome in. I don't know what it is with the lighting, but like, it's great. I just love the lighting in my room so much. The light is good, isn't it? Lighting's very good. Okay, right, gamers. Let's get into it, okay? So we have the form up here. We're not going to be putting it on the screen. We're going to have it here so we can just, like, easily skim through everything and get through everything at an appropriate time. And we also don't want to make it seem like we're skipping any other answers, so it's easy if we just look at it ourselves. And all that cool stuff, okay? Also, why is the music not on? There we go.
Right.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Ready? So...
Oh no!
Just give me 1 minute. I'm live. I'm live. What's up?
Okay. You know.
Yay, 3 months smile.
I'm sorry. Can I quickly tell you this?
Yeah, the chat can hear you, but yeah, sure.
So you know, like cola flavored sweets and stuff.
Yeah, I know cola flavored sweets.
I think I figured out how they're made. So this is my prediction, right? I predict that that everybody back in the day was trying to replicate the taste of Coke, you know, the actual Coca-Cola. But they all kept coming back to the same flavor, and it was cola. They all kept making cola by accident, and that's how I think. Because cola flavored sweets don't taste like Coca-Cola at all. Amen.
That's wow. That's a good discovery, Bill. Keep it up.
Good, Bill.
Let me know what, you know. That is probably correct. That is good job.
Makes sense.
That's really good.
Thank you.
If you learn anything else about it, please let me know. I want to know more. Okay, that was some really good stuff, man. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, I'll speak to you soon. That was some good stuff. Bye.
Bye.
So the first topic is just going to be how to get rid of people.
The first topic is how to get rid of toxic people. I'm so sorry.
Bill is great.
Bill is great. We all love Bill. We love Bill. Okay, the actual first topic, going into this, okay, it's something, we've spoken about this before. We're gonna, like, just get into it just straight. It's what should I do if I can barely get out of bed some days? Which is, obviously, I'm not gonna lie, I've spoken about it on chat, on stream before. There are some days where you just physically cannot get yourself out of bed. Maybe there's so much you're meant to be doing. Maybe it's literally no reason. You just can't physically get out. Music's a bit loud. Got ya. There are days where you just can't get out. Honestly, on those days, trying to force yourself to, like, be happy and get back into like this positive mindset. Like, I shouldn't feel like this, I should be happy. All it's gonna do is just push those feelings down, and you're never gonna really feel. Personally, what I do is when I have those days, I just take it easy. If the only thing I do that day is get out of bed, that is a win in my book, because you shouldn't force yourself to purposely try and put yourself into a positive mindset when you're not feeling it, okay? You're like human. You can't just click on a switch and suddenly you're happy again. Just feel those bad emotions, like feel them, even if they're difficult. Just go through that.
Yeah, I mean, you can always like what I used to do when I couldn't get out of bed was I just moved to the couch and did the exact same thing. Like, at least like having just like that little bit of change. Like, you don't have to force yourself to like do everything if you're not feeling it. Like, trying to like push down the emotions and instead just like never deal with them is never a good thing. It never leads to anything good. All it leads is to just the inability to process it, and then the effects of that are a lot worse, I'd say, than actually just going through it instead of like trying to like force yourself to like, oh, I'm just gonna try to do everything that I can and just distract myself. Because like, distractions are good when you're in a spot where at this, like, you're like, okay, at this point I need to distract myself, right? But sometimes you just need to like feel it. You know, sometimes you just need to feel it. Like, you can't just always push it off. So,
honestly, even the idea of just getting out of bed and just going to the couch, it's such a simple thing, but at the end of the day, you're still getting up, which is more than enough for that day. Like, trust me, like, listen, on those days where you just can't get out of bed, like, don't force yourself to just try and get into the better mindset. Sometimes you just need those days, and that's okay. Like, it's okay, it's all right. Like, you don't have to force yourself. Like, you're allowed to be sad, okay? Just remember that, gamers, all right? You're allowed to have those days. There's nothing against it, okay? It's good. It's true. There is one that just says the word anger. I'm gonna delve into this a little bit. Okay, obviously, anger, or just dealing with anger, whether it's, you know, like anger relating to issues that you're going through and you're just angry, or there's just that kind of anger where you're just angry and you can't figure out why, but there's just that like kind of hole inside you that's just, you're just angry and you can't understand why. It's not easy. I think anger is one of the least spoken about issues when it comes to like mental health, and one of the side effects, because it is so frustrating when people see just, like, they see that one side of you where you're just angry, and that's all they think about, and they're like, oh, well, they're just really angry. It's like, no, you don't. Like, I'm angry because I can't deal with my emotions right now, and anger is the only one that's coming out. But you have to remember, it's okay to be angry. Like, I'm not saying it's something like that's a good thing to feel, but it is. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't not be angry. I mean, sometimes angry is just like, you know, when you're angry, it's usually because you've probably been treated unfairly, or even it's just a case of you have so much going on inside you, you may not even understand why you're angry, but you just need to go through it. And honestly, there are some ways that I deal with my anger. Sometimes I literally just will put headphones on and just blast music, and usually it'll be like quite like BPM music, or really high music, because the stimulation of just how loud it is can help. It kind of calms my heart rate, and that helps. Honestly, it's such a silly little notion, but it does help a lot. It genuinely does. Like, loud music really does help sometimes, because it's like you start focusing on that instead of everything else going on side. So it kind of does help a little bit. It does.
Yeah, no, I agree with the music thing. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Where I just like, because the biggest thing to kind of recognize is also like when you're angry, when you're upset, because like you may like find yourself like making like a statement against someone else, right? And you're just like, I didn't like really mean to say that or something. Yeah. Or you'll just like find yourself like not handling it in the best way. So it's best to like not only like it's best to recognize it as well, and I think that's really, really difficult to recognize when you're like angry versus when you're anxious or anything.
100%.
But I feel like anger stems most of the time from a certain situation or from a certain thing, rather than just anxiety is just the overwhelming feeling from like multiple things. So kind of recognizing that and then realizing, okay, maybe I should like take a step back, try to think through why, and then if you need to feel it, honestly, then just like feel it, just like punch like a pillow or something.
Like, I feel like there's such a, like, obviously there is a negative connotation about being angry, completely understandable because of the way that when you're angry, you kind of, like, most of the time it's seen as just, oh, you become overcome with that anger, you can't do anything else. And the thing that I honestly just suggest you doing is trying to like take yourself out of the situation, try and figure out when you're angry. And I think, yeah, one of the reasons why anger is so negatively connotated is because people think angry equals you're hurting people. And it's like, no, that is not the case. At the end of the day, the only person you're usually like suffering with is just yourself, because you just don't know what to do. But you're allowed to be angry about things. You're allowed to be angry. That's just the main thing. Just let yourself feel that. And just get it out in whatever way you need to. For example, like listen to music, pacing around your kitchen. Even just getting a pillow and just screaming into it. It is just anything that helps you relieve that stress. Do it, because you deserve to be angry, you know? You're allowed to be. It's human.
Yeah. I think it's it goes back to the main point from the last one, was just like you need to feel your emotions.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing. I think that's like one of the biggest things that like people like don't do, and when they don't do it, it becomes a really, really big problem, where if you don't recognize something, when you don't work through it, then the things that you distract yourself with become toxic. They become like simply like something to fill like that like sort of void, instead of like actually working through like a situation or a feeling. Because like everyone's always expected to have like to be like happy all the time, right? That's kind of like the target emotion, if that makes sense. And if you aren't feeling happy, then like a lot of people say that, oh, if you're not feeling happy, then that means that you're feeling a wrong emotion, right? But the thing is that you can feel the bad emotions, right? Because if you don't feel and you don't work through the bad emotions, then that doesn't make the good emotions good. It just makes them, you know, kind of mundane in that sense. But it's good to work through stuff instead of just always trying to distract yourself and trying to like just find new things in order to like put off feeling that emotion. If that makes sense.
It's like that. It's consistency is always a thing, and I feel like I mean, like I've said, we owe it to ourselves to feel those negative emotions. Like to feel every emotion. And like Rand just said, you are not going to recognize the really good days until you've had the really bad days. And that's one of the main things that got me through. Like even now, like I've been diagnosed with depression since I was very young. I've been on medication since I was very young. And one of the big things for me was always remembering, like, when those days got really bad, it's just remembering it just means the good days are going to be worth it. And they are. And it's difficult. It's really difficult to put yourself into the mindset of remembering about the good days. But you will have them again. It's just about getting to that point. You've got to feel these emotions first, though. To feel these negative emotions, to be sad, to be angry, is just one step into just realizing you are human. It's the main thing.
Yeah. And a big thing also is that when you have those days that you do work through the negative emotion and everything, that makes it a lot easier to handle the, you know, bad days, but they're also not as bad as like before, right? Because whenever I'm in like a low point where I'm just like, man, like things just aren't like going as great and everything, I just kind of remember, and this might help for people that have like gone through like something but are still kind of in a bad spot, is I think about how I was like at the beginning of the year, right? Like I think about how I was like all that time ago, and then I remember how awful I felt then, and then how I feel right now, which is a million times better, right? So I guess kind of, and the thing is, right, if you like think back and you're still feeling like the same, right, if you're still feeling the same, think about how you also got through those days, right? Like, you still got through those days. You still experienced and worked through those days. And you haven't been stopped because of those days. And you're not going to be stopped by a bad day now either.
That is such a good point, where it's like, you look back at when you were at your lowest point. Like, if you're having a bad day, you're just having, they happen. Especially if, like, you have bad mental health days, and you just think to yourself, and it's like, I have came so far. Like, the main thing that you can think about is, I have survived every single one of my bad days. I can get through today. And, even I got through some of the worst nights of my life. I can do this again. Recovery is not linear. Recovery is a process that goes up and down. And it's still a case of, you're going to have slip-ups, You are going to have slip-ups. It happens. Completely happens. You can think you're over a situation. You can think you're over something. And then you have, like, one silly reminder. And you feel like back in when the situation started. And you think to yourself, you're kind of like, I thought I'd healed from this. I thought I'd fixed this. But it's not a case of that. It's not that you heal from something and it just disappears. It's a fact you just have to keep feeling it. You've got to keep going through it. It just gets easier over time. That's the best way to remember. It's not in a case of you're getting over something. You're just finding better ways to deal with something. That's the one thing you've got to remember, because when you're going through a situation, going into it with the mindset of, oh, I'm going to get over this and I'm going to feel nothing about it. That's a fair thought process to have. But you have to remember, it's not really going to work like that. It's just, there is going to be a time where you're not going to feel the same way about a situation because you've healed from it in a way where you just know how to deal with it better. Just remember that. It is hard. It is so difficult. And there are times that you don't think you'll ever get over situations and such. But you will. You will get over them. You will get through them, even so. But, just, yeah. It's what's the quote? It's there's always a rainbow at the end of the storm or something. And it's like, it is true, it's cringy, it's corny, but it's true. Something my mum would send me on with a minion in the background of it, but it's true, it's true. But yeah. Just.
I mean, yeah, I think it also relates to, like, if you like, let's say, like, you have, like, a situation, right? And then, like, you've like there's the difference between working through it and not working through it is that if you work through it, eventually when the situation keeps on coming up, you'll learn how to deal with it. You'll learn how to handle it and everything. And then eventually you just won't feel the bad emotion when things come up anymore, right? But then if you don't work through it, every single time that it comes up, you won't know what to do, right? You'll feel bad, or you'll end up, like, making, like, irrational decisions or something if you don't work through, like, a recurring situation as well. Because then whenever it comes up, you will just end up feeling just as bad. So it's better to rather have, like, the really, really bad points, but then also be able to work through a situation, be able to handle if it ever comes up again, than never work through it and just always feel crappy whenever the situation happens.
That was a good point. That was very good. You're so good at talking. You're so good at talking. So good. So good. So good. When does it get better? Okay. Right. This is a very difficult. I mean, we kind of touched upon it just now, and I'm just gonna kind of say, it's not in a case of it's going to get better. It's just in a case of you are just gonna figure out how to deal with things better. That's what it is. The main thing, this is from my personal experience. So if you guys don't agree with this, I'm just gonna speak from me and what I've gone through. I have a feeling, like, I remember when I got diagnosed, I went through that entire thought process of kind of, oh, now I understand why I'm like this, and then it hit, oh, I'm never gonna get over this. Like, this is just how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And I was terrified. But I realized over time, like, the thing with depression and anxiety and ADHD, anything, the thing about mental health is, yes, you may have it, for life. When you get diagnosed, it may be a full diagnosis and you're going to have it for life. But the thing about it isn't a case of you are living with this thing that is terrible. you're living with this thing that you can figure out better ways to deal with it. You can get medication, and that's another big thing. Medication. There is a huge stigma against medication, and obviously if you choose not to go on medication, that's completely okay. That is completely your choice. But I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna talk about it for those who are on medication or thinking about going on medication. I personally say it helped me a lot. When I started on medication, it was purely because it was something that was just to help me get out of bed, because I went through a very, very rough period when I was growing up, and medication has helped me so much. And the one thing against the stigma against medication that a lot of people come to, which is all about the idea of, I don't want to be on pills, I don't want to be on tablets to help me live. And I want to remind you guys, it is the same thing as somebody needing glasses, okay? They were born with not being able to see that well. They wear glasses so they can see the world. The same thing with you guys. You guys take medication so you guys can go and see the world. It is something that just helps you get up and get out of bed and just go see the world the way that it was intended to see. You just have something that's stopping you, and that's completely okay. It doesn't make you any less, like, worthy of being able to go outside and do your things. Just remember that. It's okay to be on medication, and it does get better. You deal with things easier as time goes on.
And the thing is that everyone has support systems, right? There is no such thing as someone that doesn't rely on anything.
Yeah.
Right? That just doesn't exist, right? It just happens that some are a lot more common than others, right? And that are a lot more accepted than others. Like, everyone has support systems in their life. For some people, it may be being medicated. For some people, it may just be like a support group that they go to. Everyone has their own support system. And no one should really feel like ashamed of it, if that makes sense. No one should ever feel like their support system isn't going to work, because it might not work, but then you'll be able to find stuff that does work better for you. That's okay. Like, if something doesn't work for you, that doesn't mean that you failed. That just means that, again, you have found something that doesn't work for you. It doesn't mean that you're never going to be able to find that support system, because you most likely will. Right? It just may take a couple of tries before you realize what works for you and what doesn't, and that's okay.
It's like it's trial and error. It is completely not a trial and error. You may find something that works for a little while, but just stops working. That's completely okay. You just find other ways. And support systems, they come and go in a sense of, it'll work for a while, and maybe, suddenly it's not working, and that's completely okay. You can find other ways. That's okay. You're allowed to trial and error your support systems and go through different ways that help you cope. Maybe something that worked for you a year ago but doesn't work anymore. So now it works now, and you do something else. You're finding your anchor, something that keeps you grounded. And sometimes it can be your best friend. Sometimes it can be family members. Sometimes it can literally just be something that you've got for you. It can be just something that you do to make you feel better. It's just about those little things that get you through life. The things that make living a little bit easier. A safe place, if even. That's probably the best way. Just find your own little safe place.
Yeah.
As hard as it may be. Chat, you're adorable.
Yeah. Let's go.
Chat, you're so cute. You're so cute. You're so cute. But seriously though, chat, no, you guys are cute. You guys are sweet. I'm moving on. I know it's not mental health related as per, but just how to become more comfortable with neurodivergency, e.g. autism and ADHD. So growing up, this is something I've talked about a lot because it's one of the topics that really upset me. But in a lot of non-males and women growing up, sadly, autism and ADHD go completely under the rug. They are swept under. It is less likely for women and non-men to be diagnosed because it's harder to see in and with autism and ADHD. It's one of the main reasons why in the older years, women get diagnosed. And it is ludicrous because usually the common thing doctors are like is, you should have been diagnosed years ago. And it's like, I know, but nobody ever saw the signs, and I didn't even know the signs. And it's so fucking ridiculous, because it's also so hard to get a diagnosis, because you have women who have been, like, I'm gonna speak from a woman's standpoint. Obviously, this can apply to men as well, but I'm just saying it from my standpoint here with this situation especially. But you can have somebody, like a woman that goes through an autism diagnosis, okay, and the test will be so ludicrous that they'll be like, I don't think you have autism because, let's say, you were able to look me in the eyes. And it's one of the things I never understand is, do you not understand that these people have had to mask for 20 years of their entire life because nobody would get them the diagnosis they deserved and needed? They spent their entire teenage years and adolescence masking their symptoms because they weren't able to talk, they weren't able to get diagnosed because nobody would help them. Like, if there was just someone in the school system or in the education system that was able to look out for teens and young children so that they could help them, push them towards this, it would have been so much different for a lot of kids with autism and ADHD. And it's ridiculous. It's something that really upsets me. But being more comfortable, honestly, the best way to be more comfortable, something that I've kind of become more comfortable, is finding people in your inner circle, or even just people in general that share some of the same traits as you. It helps, you know? Or people that, like, want to listen to you talk about your autism and ADHD. Just become more comfortable with people who want to listen to you talk. And, you know, it's difficult, but becoming more comfortable with it is, the way that I became more comfortable is I found more people that also had it, and you know, it did help me. It did help me a lot. So meeting other people that are neurodivergent, it really did help. It really, really did help. But yeah, that's my input on that.
I mean, I'd say the input that I have is probably just, I think the way that honestly you are, the way that you naturally react to things, you shouldn't have to feel like you have to apologize for it. If it's genuinely not hurting anyone else or yourself, then it's not something that you have to feel like ashamed about or something, or like just because it's like, you know, less than the norm or something like that. Like, how you naturally react to things, how you feel, how you just naturally act, you shouldn't have to worry about like feeling bad about it, because at the end of the day, what are you supposed to do? Right? It's genuinely just how you naturally react to things and how you naturally act. Like, it's like, it would be like if you like really, really like something, right? But you're the only one that really liked it. You shouldn't have to feel like, oh, well, you know, I guess this thing is just, you know, kind of lame, I guess. But you shouldn't have to feel that way, right? The way that you naturally act, the way that you naturally react to things is how you were genuinely made, right? It's how you are wired. You shouldn't have to feel bad about that if it's not hurting you or anyone else, right? Like, you genuinely shouldn't have to feel bad about it, because if you do, then all that's doing is just like making this sort of like normalcy in your mind, which is already a big problem. I don't think there is such thing as a normal person. I think that, like, genuinely no one, like, that just doesn't exist. It's a thing that everyone strives for. Like, the happy normal person doesn't exist in any way. And the thing is that when anyone like grows up or anything, they're always like shown like the perfect either life or the perfect person, or how you like the perfect feeling that you're going to strive for. And the thing is, that just doesn't exist. It's different for every single person. Like, every single person has different things that will make them happy, has different things that like affect the way that they act and everything. So sort of, you shouldn't have to feel bad for not being like normal in a sense, because that just doesn't exist. That just straight up doesn't exist. It is a lie. Yeah, that's right.
That was really good. Like, honestly, Rand just completely covered everything. It's exactly what Rand just said, where it's a case of the idea of, oh, you're doing something that's normal and abnormal, but it's at the end of the day, it's like, there is no normal way to live. And it's like, there's a quote that I like, which is from Adventure Time, ironically. But it's Bubblegum, where Bubblegum says, some of us are made different. We don't have to understand it, we just have to accept it. And it's like, it isn't even a case of just different. It's literally just a case of like every single person on Earth is made different. Okay, there is no normal standard. There are ads, so I think I'll stop for a second so you guys can deal with the ads. This is your ad break. If you're a sub, how are you guys feeling
Welcome
today?
guys to the ad break.
Welcome back to the ad break. My name is Aimsey. This is Rambo. Today we're gonna be selling you this phone. If you'd like to buy it, it's free actually. So congratulations, you've won a phone. Phone for you.
I don't know how to transition between talking out of topics. That's why I just cheer.
Yay! Yippee!
I don't know how to transition out of like serious topic because I just kind of look to you and I'm just like.
I know. To be fair, I am your little spokesperson, so it's fine. I've got you. I can switch it.
We're doing great.
Talking. We do the talking thing. Yippee! What I was gonna say is the idea of normality and what's normal and what's not. Nobody's normal. I mean, it doesn't exist. And if anybody sits there and goes, I'm normal, nobody's normal.
You are not normal.
We know what you are, and it's not normal. But it's like, that's the thing, it's not a bad thing to not be normal.
Okay.
Like, it's okay. Like, I'm completely okay with being, like, unique. When people say that to me, they're like, you're such a unique person. I'm like, thank you. Like, it's a great compliment. And it's something that should be deemed more. Because, I'm not gonna lie, growing up, it was used as an insult against me. Whereas a case of, like, you're so weird. And I'd be like, thank you. Yeah, I am. And it's like, that's okay. Like, I would rather be completely and utterly in my own world, like, unique, and just, like, the idea of, like, oh, that's weird, than be something that I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I spent so much of my life trying to be something I'm not. Why would I continue that when I'm completely happy? I'm not gonna react to things in a different way. I'm not gonna change the way my brain works because I want to fit in more. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and why should I change myself for anyone else, you know? Doesn't make sense. But, yeah. Woo! How can I best help a person that is struggling? I'm not struggling myself, but I really want to help someone, and I don't want to make someone uncomfortable.
Amy, take it away.
Thank you, Rambo. Thank you for that, man. Thank you for the mic. Okay. So, how can I help someone that's struggling? Okay. Now, it's always difficult when someone you love or someone you care for very deeply is struggling with something and you can't make it better. I think that's the main thing that I'm gonna touch upon here. Is I don't know if anyone else in chat, but there are times where you see someone sad, and the minute that your brain kind of goes into the how can I fix this method, that's how my brain usually works. Instead of I'm less of a comfort person, I'm more of let's find a solution, which obviously isn't always the best method, because sometimes there is no solution. And when you get to that point where you realize there is no solution, this person is hurting and you can't do anything to fix it, it's hard because you just gotta watch someone you love just struggle so badly with something and you can't take that away. One thing that I do to help my close friends who struggle or stuff like that is I just be there for them. Like, it's such a silly notion, but it's like allowing somebody to just there you go. Allowing somebody to just sit with you and just talk is something so incredibly underrated, in a sense of just things that they can do to they just get. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the lights going off. Sorry, chat. Sorry, the colors are going different.
There's like a little green box that shows on whether or not your stream is like good or not,
and it's just flicking.
And it just goes to it was just like going to red and then bouncing back up. So
chat can see my eyes just going up and down. Sorry, chat. I'll restart that real quick. Helping a person that's struggling, one of the main things is just listening to them. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I am the type of person that I try and like, okay, we'll do this, we'll just try this next time, let's do that next time. Oh, we'll figure out what this is, but you can't fix every situation. As much as that little voice inside your head is begging you to keep trying, there is sometimes just a chance where you have to give up and you have to just allow the person you love to just feel these emotions. As hard as they are, and as hard as it is to watch someone you love go through a really shitty time, knowing you're there for them, that's the main thing you can do. Like, even offering them the littlest bit of release. For example, just being like, do you want to just come over? Let's just go do something. Let's just watch a movie. Just watch your favorite movie. Or even showing up to their house and being like, you know, we don't have to hang out. I know you're not struggling, but here's something that reminded me of you. And even littlest thing of just being like, do you want to just come over and cry? And I know it sounds silly, but allowing someone to just come into your space and them not feel judged for just breaking down and crying in front of you is one of the main things that help. Like, there have been, like, even I struggle with this even now, with letting my friends know when I'm struggling. It's one of the main things. But sometimes you just need to just rely on someone. And you have to allow yourself to do that. You may be in your mind, you may think to yourself, like, I don't want to see anyone see me vulnerable and such like that. I completely understand that, trust me. This is something even I'm struggling with now. It's something I need to learn to get better with. But it's okay to be vulnerable. Because your best friend, someone you love, your family, they aren't going to judge you for what you're feeling. You just have to feel it and you have to go through it. You're not alone is the main thing. You really aren't alone. And you may be wondering, but how can I deal with it when they're long distance? You can go on, like, there are, like, watch party sites. You watch movies or game. You can, like, game with someone. Like, I remember when Ran went home to America the first time.
I pixel parkour while she's in the VC the entire time.
One of the things me and Ran did is whenever Ran goes back to America and we're both kind of like, I miss you, man. And we go through that little sad phase of just like, this sucks. Or, like, if one of us is feeling really down, like, Ran will just get on Hypixel Parkour. I'll just play, like something, Valorant or something like that. Not Valorant, something. And we'll just be talking in VC, playing our completely different games, but just talking about the things that, like, are on our minds. Yeah. And it genuinely does help. Like, it seriously, like, it does help to just do your own thing, but you're doing it together as you're talking. It does help. It really does help. But yeah, that's honestly, I don't know. I think that's my input on how to. What would you say about how to help?
I mean, well, I'm just gonna go off what you said because, like, if you don't know, Amy was the person that, like, basically got me through, like, January and everything. Like, you know that you were too.
Stop it.
You were. But, like, honestly, it's like realizing. I think like that biggest thing is that we both had to realize that, like, sometimes just how people, like, act and how people feel just can't be fixed. You know, sometimes you just have to, like, and that's what kind of had to happen, was that I just had to feel, like, bad about everything for a bit, because everything kind of just, like, I, like, realized, like, so much in that month that I was just kind of like, oh boy. And I remember that you would talk to me about, oh Jesus, I had, like, a mouth spasm and I, like, bit my tongue.
Oh no, are you okay?
Okay, yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay.
But, like, I remember we were like talking and everything, and Amy was just like, man, I really wish that I could, like, fix it and everything. And then, like, eventually we just came to, like, the realization that it's just, like, you just have to feel it. It just kind of has to happen. And, like, I think that actually helped a lot more than, like,
when I stopped trying to fix things, because the thing with you, it was even a case of you were dealing with so fucking much, and it was like, I remember I was trying to find solutions to every little thing, but I realized it's absolutely impossible to do that. The main thing is, you just have to feel it. And I just remember my heart just breaking in January. It was not good. It was hard, because it's like, I don't know, chat, but seeing someone you love just really struggle, top worst feelings in the world, but you got out of it. I don't think I did that much.
No, let's go out. No, you did. No, you definitely did. You have no idea, like, dude, I do not know, like, what I would have, like, done and everything, like, without your help. Like, seriously, and you know this. I've told you this, like, many times.
I know,
but it's just, like, yeah. It's genuinely, like, I don't know. I mean, helping people, even if you think that, like, you're not doing much, right? Literally just being there is more than enough for people, right?
I love you. I love you too. Oh. Okay.
Compilation moment, baby. We did it. Ah!
Ranboo and Aimsey being wholesome for 20 minutes. I hate
Yeah,
it.
but, like, honestly, I don't know. I feel like another thing is also, like, it's good to be, like, more open.
Oh, yeah, no.
Things.
100%.
Like keeping things, because I don't know, because there's always, like, the thing of just, like, oh, like, people shouldn't be, like, talking about this. Like, especially, like, I know, like, as creators, there's a lot of people that are just like, oh, you shouldn't be, like, talking about this thing to, like, a lot of people and everything. But,
I don't
agree.
agree.
I agree. If something will make, like, a fan base feel worse, and that's something that I had to realize as well, that it's just, like, you shouldn't be, like, obviously telling the, like a bunch of people everything that's, like, going on, because sometimes that can make things worse when you have, like, the public opinion and everything. And I had to realize that in, like, January as well, with, like, the weird, like, paragraphs that I send and everything. That's just like, okay, probably should take a step back
It's
and
like
kind of work on
when
it.
you hit rock bottom, it's like that little flick in your brain which is telling you, like, what's the best idea. It kind of vanishes a little bit, and it's completely understandable to do some things that kind of you then reflect on. You're like, okay, maybe I'm working on that, and that's completely okay.
Yeah, but something that I've realized more, like, now that I've, like, kind of, like, I'm at like a much better spot in my mental health and everything, is that being able to share what I have struggled with and everything actually, like, it helps people. And that's the biggest thing that I've noticed, and that's like even while we're doing the stream and everything, is because knowing that, like, someone, like, you know, like, if you have like a teacher or something,
Yeah.
or like someone that you, like, really look to up to
Yeah.
and everything, and then they say something that you are also dealing with, that they are also dealing with, and then you kind of have that realization that, like, oh shoot, you know, it's kind of like you know, like, having a gay teacher, right? It's like,
I was gonna bring that up.
Realizing that you have someone that you have looked up to, that you like and everything, have, like, the same thing that you're going through. It helps a lot. So that's why I kind of realized, like, as, like, a content creator and everything, that you can we can help people do that, right? We can help people by like showing, like, hey, struggle with the same things. I mean, it's like, it's the same stuff.
It's like, it's one of the things. It's like, it's a little bit about why I'm so open about being a lesbian online, because I know how much shit lesbians get online. Trust me, I've had it firsthand. I've also had it my entire life. And I remember there was, like, a time where, obviously, there's people online that always do the whole thing of, like, don't make it your whole personality, that's so weird, and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if me being open about lesbian, like, has helped people figure out their own identity, why the fuck would I stop that? Like, I will never forget when I went to Pride with Ran, and it was my first Pride out as a lesbian, and someone came up to me and said, you're the reason, like, I realized that I was a lesbian, and you're the reason that you made me so comfortable. And I didn't know what to do, because I was just fully like, what do I do? In such a nice way. Like, and it's the same thing with mental health. It's like, obviously, a lot of you know, I'm always very open about mental health. I've done many of these kind of streams, just never officially done, like, a title with it about it. And obviously, I've been very open about medication and stuff like that. I even make jokes about medication. Like, we've literally had an ongoing joke since we became friends about my medication.
Yeah,
like, it's brilliant.
yeah.
Like, it's
really funny.
It makes it, adding fun to it kind of, I think, in my opinion, helps lessen the stigma. Because it's just in a case of, it's just a normal thing. Like, yeah, you take medication. Well, who cares? You know what I mean? It's like, it's a just common, like, thing. And if me talking about it so openly helps at least one person go kind of be like, oh, maybe I should, like, talk to someone about this, then win-win, isn't it? I'm not gonna not do it, but yeah, I think, yeah, that was a very good point. Talking about it, I think talking about it online isn't as taboo of a topic that people like to make it out to be. I think as creators, I mean, as me, like, as I would say, for me personally, I am such a my kind of streams, as you guys know, my streams kind of revolve around whatever I've done for that day. Like, you know, and because I'm very like an IRL type in, like I will just talk about things. And, you know, there are days where I'm going to have a really shit day. And I'm going to say to you, I'm going to be like, chat, just remember, you're all right to have bad days. You know, these happens because it's such a small thing. But, you know, someone in chat can be like, oh, I'm having a shit day too. Let's have a shit day together. You know, it's like the thing with Ran and me, if we're both having a bad day, it's like, let's do nothing, but let's do nothing together. And it's such a small little thing, but it helps. Because just having somebody, you both don't have to talk. You both be doing your own thing, like scrolling on TikTok, doing your own thing. Both just chat, like you go, hee hee, this is funny. but it's like just being with somebody and just doing nothing together is always such a good thing. But, yeah. I went on a huge tangent there, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but also with like being a creator and everything, you also do have to understand, and this is something that I had to like realize and change, is that you also have to be careful about what you say, because making people worried is never a good thing.
No.
Like, because I know that like when I went on like my mental health break and everything, I sent like these like really like long paragraphs that made it seem like something like really bad had happened and everything, and people started to get worried about that. And I kind of realized, like, when I was, like, working through everything, that just, like, probably shouldn't have done that. Probably should have been a bit more, like, hey, going through something, and just kind of left it at that. Because there gets to a point where then I don't want to, like, make people stressed or worried. I'd rather just make them feel more comfortable with their own issues by saying, like, hey, this is what I'm, like, this is something that I'm dealing with, instead of, like, you know, all of that. So I think there's like an important balance to achieve when definitely talking to people.
It's like keeping that kind of like it's like, don't like, as a creator, it's not going into the specifics, but it's also just mentioning like it's alright, like I'm struggling, I'm not gonna explain what's going on, but it's okay to struggle. It's like keeping that notion, because even we have to be reminded sometimes, like we like, yes, we're creators, but we're also very human. And one of the things even we have to remind ourselves sometimes of, like, no, yeah, like we are human, we're allowed to feel these things. As difficult as it is to remind ourselves, but we are allowed to.
Yeah.
But yeah. You.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Wait. Ooh, what would you say? Yeah.
Relieving stress.
Relieving stress. Let's go. What would you say is it?
It's what I do. I just yell.
What would you say is a good or healthy way to relieve stress?
Good ways to relieve stress. There are many good ways to like relieve stress and everything. You just have to make sure a couple of things is that, one, it's healthy for both you and everyone around you, right? If it is affecting anyone in a negative way, like that is like you, that is anyone around you, not good. Don't do that, like relieve them, right? But if it's like literally like punching a pillow or just like being upset, listening to like angry music or anything, like just relieve it by just going "Wah!" and just kind of feeling it instead of just, like, again keeping it in and everything. Like just do something that like comforts you and everything. Again, as like the main things you have to like make sure is that it's not affecting anyone else,
just
and
yourself.
It's not affecting you in a negative way.
Yeah.
All right. The moment that happens, you have to most likely change what you are doing to do that, to relieve that stress.
The thing about good and healthy ways is, obviously, there is always, like, you could find something that helps you relieve the stress, but it isn't exactly healthy. And obviously it's very difficult because you start to get into the mindset of, oh, but this helps me. This is something that helps me, so I'm going to do it. One of the things you have to remember, chat, is the minute it starts, like Ran said, the minute it starts hurting anyone around you or yourself, try and find a different method, because there is always going to be a different method, a healthier method, okay? I promise you, there is always healthy alternatives, even if you don't think there is. Falling into bad habits, it happens. Or even if you think you were on a good streak and then you slip up, it happens. Like I said, recovery is not linear. But it's also a case of you can find better alternatives and healthier alternatives. And I'm gonna say something which sounds so silly. And if you had told me this like 3 years ago that I would be saying this in response to this question, I would have kicked you in the face. Going to the gym, weirdly enough, even just going on a run, it genuinely does help.
It helps so much.
It helps so fucking much. And chat, I know there's a lot of people in chat that be like, Amy, shut up. Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this, listen, I have been mentally ill my entire life. I was recommended to go to the gym so many times, and I was like, no, fuck you. As someone who is now going to the gym, it does genuinely make you feel so much better. It genuinely does. I can't fathom it enough. It's the same feeling. I don't know if you agree with this. The same feeling of when you cook yourself a meal.
Yeah.
It's like that satisfaction after it. You're like, oh, like when you bake something, chat. When you bake something and you're like, after you're like, you're proud of yourself. You're like, oh, is that? And it is. I mean, going to the gym literally is actual. There are reasons because it releases specific hormones and stuff like that, and like chemicals like dopamine. It is literally it's scientifically proven it does make you feel better, right? Which is but yeah, that is also something. Even just going on a walk outside, that's also something. Going on a walk and do a little journaling, like that's what I used to do. I still do.
Even not even just going to the gym, just in general working out. Like,
Yeah.
let's say you don't want to go to the gym. That's okay.
That's fair, yeah.
In general, literally just like it helps so much. Right? It just like I don't know what it is, but it's like also that like kind of feeling of just like I have done something good for myself.
Yeah,
Right?
it's that.
helps relieve like
It's
stress
completely that feeling.
so much.
Yeah.
You know?
You're
And
completely right.
If it doesn't work, you'll be sad and ripped. So
Exactly.
It's a win-win.
You'll have
It's
quads of
literally a
steel,
win-win.
baby. You'll have quads of steel. No, that's like it's also. I know someone in chat said, "What if I'm too self-conscious to go to the gym?" Even just going on a walk, like that's something so simple. Even just being in your house and just doing little things, like I don't know, like sit-ups, like little things. It's just something that gets you it. And also, I want to just put in for the self-conscious thing. Trust me, I was the exact same. The one thing that helped me is the first time I went to the gym, nobody looked at me. I wasn't looking at anyone else either. Like, I realized that the minute that I went to the gym for the first time, nobody cares that you're there. Like,
Yeah.
and also you don't care that you're there once
No,
you
yeah.
start.
But think
Nobody
about it, right?
cares.
Do you like
Look at people.
Like, I like, because the thing is, I was really worried about going to the gym, and then I went a couple of times, and I just kind of realized I've never noticed another person.
Yeah.
there, unless they have been on the machine that I want to use. Then I just get upset at them. But that's just me.
That point, it's the case of every single time I'm done with the gym, I'm like, was there anyone there?
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, usually, yes, there is. It's just you don't think about it because you're in your own head doing
you
it.
don't even remember a single person there, so there is a very, very good chance that not a single person will remember that you were there either.
If you've been to the gym, right? If you've been to a gym, do me a favor and try and remember one face you've seen. I can't because I don't think about it because I just focus on the thing I do. I go into the gym, I get a bottle of water, I go straight on the treadmill, I go, and it helps so much. It's such
I only remember one guy because he was just sitting on the machine that I wanted to use for like 30 minutes and trying to just sitting there doing this.
Oh, I'd cry.
That's the only guy that I remember, and that's because he was just sitting there.
He's a dick.
Wasn't doing anything, and I wanted to use it.
Motherfucker.
So I just kind of left.
When things get difficult, we leave, don't you? Oh my gosh.
Oh man. We're looking through.
We're looking for one. We're looking for.
through.
So I'm trying to find ones that we both can speak about, so then we both can have our own input on it. Let me see.
We're looking.
We're having a cheeky look. We're a cheeky look. You know, chat. Put some stuff in chat as well if you haven't done the. We'll use a chat one. We'll use a chat one. We'll use chat for a minute. Hello, chat. How you doing, chat? Hello, chat. Body dysmorphia. Oh gosh. Well, chat. I'm gonna be completely honest. Body dysmorphia is very difficult. It's very difficult to not feel comfortable in your own skin. Like that's one of the main things of like growing up and just kind of like you look yourself in the mirror and you think something's not quite right. Or even just a sense of you just don't feel comfortable when you look at yourself. It is very difficult. It's very difficult, and I'm gonna be honest, there isn't any right way to overcome this. Personally, I'm saying that from experience, because honestly, I haven't even overcome it myself. But what I will say is doing little steps to allowing yourself to feel comfortable is always the right step. Like doing little things, like for example, like I remember I've been since I was about, I think since I was about 12 years old, I've been very confused about myself, and you know, it's completely okay. And I was very, very young, and obviously the thing I did in the last year was I started wearing binders, and it's helped so much. And I've also become more comfortable with my identity in a sense of I'm just Aimsey, like I'm not anything specific, and that's helped me so much. And you know, the thing you gotta remember, guys, you can have one label now, and that can change. That can change. You are not stuck in a box. You are not so, like, society can't crush you into a box and make you stay there. You are allowed to have one label now, and you realize in the future you don't really agree with that label anymore. You agree with a different one. You feel like a different one. That is completely okay. You're allowed to change. You are not just this one stuck thing, okay? Like, you have time to figure out these things. It is never too late. It is never too late to figure out who you are. So just don't push yourself to do so.
And yeah, okay. And then a big thing for me, and especially, you know, facial dysmorphia, is it worked really, really well for me. It may not work for everyone, but honestly, exposure therapy really, really helped. So basically, I think I touched on this a little bit, but eye revealing and everything, right, was actually a huge part of just like that kind of exposure therapy that I needed at that point, right? And then like the slowly posting like the good night selfies and everything were like literally just ways for me to like be more comfortable with it and everything. And like exposure therapy for me really, really helped. It really, really helped just kind of like showing like more of myself, and then realizing like, oh, this isn't genuinely as bad as I thought it would be. Right? And obviously not everyone's going to have the exact same like situation that I did, or the exact same, like it might not work for everyone, but just like kind of stepping outside of your comfort zone for a little bit, feeling really, really anxious for like a bit, and then realizing, oh, I can actually see when I go outside now. This is awesome.
I will never forget, like, when it was me and you walking ages ago. I remember you made the joke of like, I'm just gonna eye reveal. I can't deal with being fogged up all the time. Yeah. And it was like such a silly little joke, but it was like it was like genuine, and it was like I don't know. Exposure therapy is always one thing. Obviously, there are two sides to it, where the people will never take that leap, and other people who have and are so happy they did. Like, I can even say the same. I remember in a weird kind of way, like, it's not exactly the same, but I remember when I started wearing binders, it took me, I bought my first binder, but I didn't put it on for like 2 weeks. I would just look at it, and I would go to put it on, and I just wouldn't. Because I was terrified, and it's so silly, but I was just really scared of like, I was overthinking nothing. And then I put it on one day, and I went outside, and I was hit with the utmost euphoria that I have felt in such a long time, where I was just so fucking happy. And I think that's one of the things that scare you, go for it. Like, yeah. You don't have to take this advice if you're like, no, hell no. But from us, I would say, the things that scare you, just go for it. Genuinely. Fucking go for it, gamers. Like, they scare you for a reason. That's completely okay. But if you want to get over those things, you can do that, okay? You can do that. And even if you try something and it doesn't succeed, or it doesn't go the way you want it, at least you fucking tried. You know what I mean? At least you tried at all. And that's so fucking awesome that you even tried to do it. Like, genuinely, you can come back and do it another day. You don't have to do it all in one go either. Genuinely, very proud of you. Just keep at it, alright? As difficult as it may be.
Yeah!
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 Yeah! What did Aiden say? Aww. Oh, look like Aiden. Yeah. Yeah. Chat, what are you guys thinking?
What are you guys talking about?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Lag. Well.
How how to deal with that. How to deal with stream lag. Get off your mobile. Sorry, chat. Oh my gosh.
You're evil for that one.
I am a little bit.
Hold on.
Oh, we have an ad.
I saw a good one, but I want to show it. Where is it?
Hey guys, it's ad time.
It's ad time, everyone.
Who's subscribed and has remember you guys remember you that was some good stuff.
That was good. That was good.
Oh man, I'll screen it. You can see.
I saw one that was.
Ooh,
good.
that's a good one.
Okay.
I want to buy a treadmill. You know what? Get one.
Where was it? Scroll up. Scroll. I know that it's there.
Oh. How do you know we're moving? Grief. Oh, I want to talk about grief.
You want to talk about grief? Alright.
I've got some stuff about so I'll keep that for me.
Okay.
Academic depression.
I can't see it.
Guys, if you've said something, keep saying it.
Keep saying it.
Ron's got one, but we can't find it again.
Where is it? Wait, what?
Wait, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? God damn.
We'll just
Okay.
We'll just
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Chat, keep putting ones you guys have seen. But
What?
here.
Yeah.
What I wanted to mention. We're gonna delve into a little bit of grief here. This is gonna talk about grieving someone who has passed and also grieving somebody who's very much still alive. Honestly, going through, okay. Grief is one of the things every single human will experience. It is one of the things that is most common with every single human. However, it doesn't make it any easier. Just because this is a common feeling, it doesn't make it any easier because when you're going through grief, only you know how it feels. And honestly, one of the main things about going through, like when you're grieving, is you but you think the world's gonna stop because for you it has. But then you just see everybody just carrying on. And you're sitting there and you're angry. You're like, how can these people just carry on? How can these people just carry on with what they're doing? Do they not know what's happened? But at the end of the day, it's something that's usually only affecting you or a small amount of people. And you're kind of just, you're angry, you're frustrated that people aren't realizing how big of a thing this is. And it's completely okay to feel like that. Grieving is so difficult. And grief is something that never goes away. Because I want you guys to imagine a little box, okay? A little box with a button in it, okay? There's a little red ball. The red ball is really big to start with, and the red ball keeps hitting the button. The button's grieving, and it keeps hitting it. It keeps hitting it, just keeps hitting it, okay? Over and over again. As time moves on, the ball starts to get a bit smaller. But, the ball starts moving around the box, and, it's not hitting the button as much, but it's still hitting it sometimes. And then it gets to the point where the ball is so very small. But there's always going to be a chance where it's going to hit that button and you're going to just be overcome with just memories or just feelings of somebody that's passed or someone you're grieving. And all you can do is just cry about them because you thought you were over it, but you're not. And that is okay. It's okay to grieve someone who may have passed years ago. It's okay to grieve about things that you wish you could have again, feelings you wish you could have again. It's okay to just grieve, because let me tell you, grieving is one of the hardest things you have to go through because you can't do anything. You just have to feel it. And seriously, it sucks. But, like I said, you find ways to cope with it. And you will. But remember, it's okay to just have those days where you just cry, remembering the memories of somebody, crying about them. You never really get over it, but it does become easier to deal with. Yeah.
I got really excited during the box and ball analogy because I remember that's what she like told me like in like January.
I'm glad you remembered that. I did tell you this, yeah.
Like a Marvel cameo, dude. That was awesome. Yeah.
My analogy was like a Marvel character. You're like, I know that.
Like, oh!
Amy's used that one on me.
Oh my god, there it is.
The thing with me, chat, is I love analogies, okay? Ran can sadly vouch for this. I use analogies constantly because I love them. I love being able to put a feeling of something into an analogy and being able to use that as a way to talk about something to make it easier for somebody to understand. One of my favorite things because it helps people. And I think the thing with Ran is I use analogies a lot when it comes to just like random things, and I just kind of like think about it this way. Like the Coke can analogy. I use that constantly. If you guys don't know the Coke can analogy, it's okay. When you're keeping all your feelings inside, right? You're keeping all your feelings inside and you're not talking about them. They're building up and up and up. It's the same thing as when you're shaking a Coke can, okay? You keep shaking this Coke can, you keep shaking this Coke can until, let's say, you accidentally drop it and it explodes. All of it just comes straight out. It's the same thing as when you're keeping all of these emotions inside you, and then one little thing happens. Let's say, like, you know, a friend cancels on you, or let's say you fall. You say like you do something happens and you can't help, and now suddenly all of those emotions you've had in the last month all just come out at once, and you can't do anything but just break down. Like, you have to stop it before it gets to the point you need to talk to people, because if you let it always overboil and get to that point, it's never going to be okay for you. You are never going to be able to deal with it in a better way. You need to talk about these things so then it doesn't get to that point. Analogies! Oh!
Yeah.
Analogies!
Oh, wait. Wait.
That one?
No,
I know this.
One more.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, wait, you can't see it. Okay, the answer, the question was, can anxiety cause nightmares and everything? I'm fairly certain
it can.
that it can. Mainly because basically during like even then, like, I have a very like, for those of you who don't know, I can get very anxious all the time. Like I'm fairly,
You're a very anxious boy.
I'm fairly certain that I have anxiety. And basically what happens is it can definitely affect your dreams. Like, I've had it before, and like I remember like especially in January, like, I would text you because I was having like these dreams every single day. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know really how to give advice about it, but it definitely can.
The advice you can give is the fact that they're right. Yes, it can.
Yeah, I remember like at like some points, like my like not even just anxiety can cause nightmares, but like your mental health is very much reflected in the way that you dream as well.
Yeah,
because I
100%.
remember that I used to have like I used to like scream in my sleep and everything, and like walk around at like some of like my most like stressful points of my life and everything.
And the biting thing as well.
Yes, I used to like wait. I like had like these like really weird, especially like when things were like really and this is gonna be like a little warning for like uncomfortable mouth bits if you don't like that for a second. Basically, what would happen is like I would like wake up, and for some reason like my mouth would be like hurting a lot, like the inside of my mouth, and I realized that like I accidentally like bit like really hard and everything, and that happened when I was like more like anxious and more and like going through things and everything. So it definitely can affect like the way that you dream and everything. So you just have to make sure that like, again, you're in like a safe spot with that as well, and just kind of like, you know, just be like, well, hey, this is what's going on and everything.
Yeah.
I might scream. It's
fine. I think that's like a very, very good point. Anxiety and the way that you're feeling, like mentally, can definitely affect how you sleep and nightmares and such. Because the one main thing that I will say, there may be something you think you've gotten over, and then you have a dream about it, and suddenly you don't know what to do, because you're like, why the fuck am I feeling like this? I thought I was over this, and you realize you didn't get over it, you just pushed it down. And that's the kind of like trigger, in a sense, that kind of like, oh shit, I need to deal with this now. which is obviously, it's very, very difficult, but it's something that I think it's just one of those things that you kind of, it's the brain effect where it just trickles and then you kind of stop there, okay, now I'm going to deal with this thing. But yeah, no, anxiety definitely can cause nightmares, chat. 100%.
I'm fairly certain. Again, not a professional, but from personal experience, there's definitely been a direct correlation with my dreams and stuff that I've been going
like the worst you've been versus the nightmares you're having. Yeah, 100%. Boom, boom. Let's see. Let's put our thinking caps on. Did you do that one? Did I touch upon that?
Do that one?
Do you want to do that?
It's up to you. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. So, my friends have been ignoring me and they're not good for my mental health. And I've been trying to find new friends, but I just can't. So what should I do? Honestly, the thing I'm going to say is I would rather be alone than be around people who make me feel like shit. It's something that's very difficult to understand. I completely understand that. But I had this thing in school. You try so hard to just fit in, or you try so hard to just kind of mask yourself in your way of being like, oh, these people are terrible to me, but I'm gonna pretend it's fine. You shouldn't be allowing yourself to be put into a situation where you are just going to be ridiculed, or in a situation where if you walk away from an interaction with somebody and every single time you walk away you think in your head, that was just not nice, then that's your answer.
Even if you're really, let's say, right, you have certain days where you're with a friend and everything, and they make you really, really happy, they're being really good friend and everything for a day. And then for the rest of the days, they just aren't. You have to kind of realize, is it worth it? And spoiler alert, the answer is no. The answer is no. There is no possible thing that someone can be doing in one day to make up for
a month of bad days. It's if you have 29 days where you think in your head, this person doesn't make me happy, or I feel like a burden. When you have one day with them and you're kind of like, hey, it's all fine, it's all good. No, you owe it to yourself. Not even a case of, you owe it to yourself. You are stuck with yourself for the rest of your life. Shouldn't you make it a little bit easier on yourself? Shouldn't you? Find people that love you for who you are, instead of trying to be someone you're not around somebody that is never going to accept you. I don't know. I think I have a lot of input about that from school, because I don't know if anyone else in chat has RSD, rejection sensory disorder, but it's one of those things where kind of you feel like you need to perform, and you get nervous if somebody doesn't like you, and you kind of you then start overthinking. You're like, oh shit, every interaction, and you feel it so heavily, so you feel like you have to act in front of somebody, even if they make you feel like shit. You feel like you have to act. You feel like you have to put this act up, because
a lot of people.
At the end of the day, you want them to like you, because you don't want to feel rejected. And it's awful. But one thing I've also learnt with is you owe it to yourself to be happy, and you need to choose the ones that choose you. Yeah. That's just the main thing, I'd say.
And even then, actual good friends and everything will make you also feel happier with yourself when you're alone as well.
That's true.
That's the thing. That's the main thing, is that because they're saying I've been trying to find new friends instantly. You have to make sure that you're happy with yourself first.
Yeah.
Because then it might get to a point where you're actually going to just be essentially, I don't know if using is the right word, but it's the only word that I can think of. Mm-hmm. You're essentially using your friendships and the emotions that they make you feel as a way to cope with how you feel.
Yeah.
Right? When in reality you should be working on it yourself.
Yeah.
Distracting yourself with people instead of actually dealing with a situation is a very, very unhealthy thing to do, and can only lead to then, if that person kind of realizes it, you end up just being oh, well, crap.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you're happy with yourself just as much as you are then happy being friends with that person as well. And however, there are are some times where you don't feel happy with yourself, that if it is a genuine good friendship and everything, that they will help you with that. They will help you feel more comfortable with yourself. That you could have entire days where you're just like not like talking to anyone and just be like, oh, I was doing great.
Yeah, I was great. That was fine. It's like like one of the things is like if you can leave an interaction with somebody and you genuinely feel better about yourself, those are the people you want to stay around and stick around. And I think another thing is when you're dealing with mental health, you need to find people who accept your mental health. Like, it is so difficult to be open with somebody. And like, obviously it's so difficult to be open anyway about mental health. But when you find somebody, you find like a group of people who also realize and they're like, it's okay. Like, you know, you can't come out today, that's fine. You know, just, you know, like you can't get out of bed, that's okay. You know, just chill. Even if you won't, we'll come to you. You find, and there's such little things. But it's like, even in the case if you're having a bad day and a friend sends you a song they think you'll like, they just kind of like, I think you'll like this song. I know you're having a bad day, so here you go. Such a little thing, but it's like the fact they're thinking about you and they're accommodating to ways that they, like, instead of being like, I'm gonna come get you and we're gonna go to a theme park. Like, obviously that doesn't work for everyone. I feel like if I was struggling
theme parks work for me.
If I was struggling and someone came to my house and got me to go to a theme park, I would be like this the entire time. I hate it here. And then Ryan would be like, you're having fun. And I'd be like,
are you doing good?
I want to go home. But it's like, you need to find people who accommodate your like bad days in ways that they know how you feel. Like when I have really bad days, I struggle being around anybody. And it's in a case where I just want to curl up into a ball and just lay there. And like one of the things is like, if Rand knows I'm having a bad day, it's just a case he'll just send me like a TikTok and be like, you like this one. And I'm like, thank you. I did like
this one.
I know you'll like this one. It's a man screaming at a chicken nugget.
Oh my god, that's the best video I've ever seen. It's the greatest video I've ever seen.
It is very good.
Yeah.
It is very good.
Also in like regards to like also like recognizing like that kind of thing as well, like if like a friend is not as like good for you as you might think, is if they ever make you feel like guilty for like let's say like you needed to take a break for something and they just go, oh come on, that is like the worst thing. Like you either call them out on it, and then if they don't accept it, then you have to recognize that is not a good thing to do to someone.
I've got a bit of a tangent, but it is also a very valid point. I don't think you can know much about in the way that I'm going to speak about this. Okay, let me know what you think. I like that. That is a very valid point, right? Okay. But we're going to delve into a different kind of topic that I wasn't actually going to get into today. But I think I've seen a lot of people in chat talk ask about it. I'm going to delve into it very lightly. Okay, chat. Okay. Sobriety and the idea of, you know, substances, and you kind of, when you're mentally ill, you may seek out different methods of dealing with your emotions. And one of the main things is, like we talk about support systems. When you have a support system who are so very, like, open and so open to help you, not even help you, but just so open to cheer you on when you're going through that, it is one of the best feelings in the world. Like, I'm not going to delve into it, but I've had, you know, I've struggled with addiction over time. It is something, I'm not going to go into it, but it's something I do struggle with. But having people who, even having like a week of sobriety, you have people who cheer you on for that little time, and it is the best. Like, Ran is someone who is like helps a lot, and like Gucky, obviously, it's that, like, having people in your inner circle who are able to cheer you on for the little milestones that you don't think are important. Then you have somebody that's like, that's fucking amazing. It's so nice. And like, if you have somebody that, for example, you say like, I'm not going out tonight, or I don't want to do any of that, or I don't want to do that today, I don't want to smoke that, you know, like that. And they go, oh, come on, it's only one. You need to kick them to the curb. You need to push them and kick them. Never good. Because all that person is going to do is enable you in the future. You need people who are completely and utterly okay with exactly who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so fucking important. It's so fucking important. It's terrifying being open about something. Like, I think addiction in general is such a very interesting topic. Maybe one day I'll get into it completely because it is something that I'm very passionate about as somebody who's both dealt with it and also somebody that has had experiences. But you need people who are going to support you. It is it's so difficult to be open about it because it is something that, I mean, you think in your own head, you're kind of like, this is stupid. This is silly. I shouldn't be talking about this. At the same time, when you have somebody who kind of like maybe doesn't understand, but they just want to help, it's such an eye-opener because it's like they are there to just help you even on like the little milestones, and it's so important. Just don't have people in your life that are gonna knock you off your ledge when you're trying to recover. You need people who are gonna continue to lift you up on the days you slip.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. But yeah, that's basically it. Have you got anything else to add? Do you think? Do you think we've covered? Do you think we've covered a lot? Enough? I think we've covered it. I think we've covered a lot today. Chat.
Damn.
Oh damn.
It's 1.5 hours. Jesus Christ.
We always. Do you remember that 3-hour space we did?
I was ready to keep going. My God.
That's the thing. I was like, me too. But then I was like, I need to be somewhere right now. So.
Okay.
Hello, I'm back. I forgot that I was busy, but it's fine. Would you guys like a part 2 of this stream? Is the question. Because I'm not gonna lie, me and Ran could talk for hours. Me and Ran have these conversations every day. Like, would you guys like a part 2 of this stream? Because we could do a part 2 where we go into different topics that we haven't discussed maybe today. If you guys want that, maybe put it in here. You guys saying yeah? Would you like to do another one?
Yes.
All right, there will be a part 2. Trying to think of a name for it. The name the.
What? How is he? Oh. We're in a group chat. I think that's the best way to describe that.
I hate him so fucking much. I hate him so much. I hate him so much. I hate him so fucking much.
God damn it.
Anyway, we hate Bill. So dealing with toxic dealing with Bilzo. Drop him.
To the curb.
Anyway, right, if you guys want to think of a little, if you guys want to say love you, Bill. Love you, Bill. Why did this stream started and ended with fucking chaos, and that's Bill's fault. If you guys want a part 2, I have no idea what to call this stream with me and Ran, because we have these kind of moments like once every like 3 weeks where we have conversations like this. We need like an actual like chatting name for it. Aimsey, no, that's terrible. I will be honest. Glowing therapy. That's quite cute, but like, you know. Glad
I don't know.
You find something. You find something. You guys find something, all right? Okay, now gamers, we're gonna talk real quick about something important, all right? We're gonna
whatever could it
be. So, everyone, listen up. It is Gucky's birthday today. Oh, Gucky! You guys know who Gucky is? If you guys don't know who Gucky is, have you ever watched any of my streams? The answer would be no. It's Gucky's birthday today. We're gonna raid into Gucky, but I need you guys to do me a favor. I was meant to be on Gucky's stream like 22 minutes ago. I got distracted. What can I say? But we're gonna raid into Gucky. I'm also gonna be on Gucky's stream in about 10 minutes. I just need to go clear up some stuff. Please, if you guys have any primes, any subs, or anything like that, please give it to Gucky. It is literally their birthday. And it would be very, very cool to see. Give them all the love. Also, chat, I want to say, if any of the topics today resonated with you, we're very proud of you, and, you know, we love you, and just keep being you, gamers, okay? Just keep being you. You're doing awesome, and remember that. You!
Yeah!
Yippee! Alright, see you guys tomorrow. What days? No, yes, actually, yes! See you tomorrow. Area Unknown Law. See you tomorrow. Are you streaming today?
Yes.
Ran is streaming today! What time?
No, I don't know, probably in like, what time is it right now? Probably in like an hour.
Ran is streaming in an hour! Who's excited? Come on, who's excited? Come on!
I'm gonna order pizza and play Splatoon.
Yippee! Alright, see you guys. Bye!